What do you mean not all of Pooh's friends are gonna be in Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3? Well, let's talk a little bit about it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I want to be a fighter, like you.
Oh, let it burn! Let it burn!
Did you miss me?
You have to shoot them in the head. They always come back.
The boat can leave now. Tell the crew.
But sometimes that is better.
Good luck.
Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake. Today we have some really exciting announcements regarding some of the hottest horror projects that are still yet to come this year. Before we get into all of that though, please make sure to like this video, subscribe for more videos like this, press all of the cool buttons on this page, except the dislike button, unless you want to hurt my feelings. Thank you to all of my Patreon supporters and channel members for keeping the lights on around here as well. Now let's get into the updates. American Psycho is one of those excellent period pieces that is still relevant today, but now we're going to be getting Victorian Psycho starring Micah Monroe. We just got our first image from the film showing off the gruesome governess, as well as a brutal new poster that may show off a poignant weapon in the film. Set in Victorian England, Victorian Psycho follows an eccentric governess who arrives at a remote Gothic manor where strange happenings stir suspicion that she's not what she seems. Directed by Zachary Wygon, the film is based on Virginia Vito's novel of the same name that Vito is actually adapting for this film. The movie arrives on September 25th of this year, and based on this poster, I think Micah Monroe is carving someone's face up with a spoon. We've already gotten so many iconic sequences in horror films regarding knives and even forks, but the spoon really has not seen its day quite yet. And to all of our spork lovers out there, one day, just keep holding out the hope. I really hope she spoons out somebody's eyeball in this film. That would be pretty awesome. There's a new neon horror movie on the way, which means old Jake is interested. Anything coming from that company in the horror realm has my attention. Pretty much everything they put out in the horror space is of quality. Leviticus seems to be no different, as the first trailer for the queer horror entry has just dropped and will be in theaters on June 19th of this year. The film follows two star-crossed teenage boys who must escape a violent entity that takes the form of the person they desire most, each other. The film had its world premiere at Sundance, and it was a major festival hit. IndieWire wrote that Leviticus is a phenomenally entertaining horror debut that plays like an episode of heated rivalry, ghoulishly crossed with It Follows. Leviticus is not a perfect horror film, but the film's moody atmosphere, including a soundtrack full of clanks and bangs, makes it an enjoyably disquieting ride. THR also promises that Leviticus has enough gore and jumpy moments to qualify it as a proper horror film, but its true scariness is of the forlorn kind. I can absolutely see the It Follows inspiration here with just the concept alone, the idea of some sort of entity taking the form of what you desire most. In It Follows, it is a little different. It's just kind of taken the place of any NPC in the surrounding area. Sometimes people you know as well. But also in the trailer, we do have a sequence that seemingly takes place at a rec center pool.
Just walked in the room, it's right there.
It's here?
Right there!
The film notably stars Joe Bird, who last we saw of him was smashing his face to pieces in Talk to Me. Out of the frying pan and into the fire with this fucking dude. Oh my god. First he was in a society version of Hell in Talk to Me for a little bit, and now he's got this going on? Is Joe Bird okay? Does he need a hug? I love what director Adrian Chiarella said of the film, saying, "I'd want to merge my love of horror with homophobia because if you think about it, horror movies are always about fear, and homophobia is a type of fear." Another big thing we can pick up from the trailer is that this absolutely seems to be homophobia from outside sources forcing them onto this teenage couple, making them afraid to just be themselves. Now that is some deeply rooted horror right there. Leviticus drops on June 19th, and I'm excited for it. Just in time for Pride Month too? That's perfect, baby. Shudder has a brand new body horror film on the way, coming from director Natalie Erica James, called SACCHARINE. The new flick, dropping in theaters on May 22nd, follows lovelorn medical student Hannah, who becomes terrorized by a sinister force after taking part in an obscure weight loss craze, eating human ashes. From the trailer, we can surmise that she steals body parts from cadavers at the morgue, places the ashes in pill form, and then swallows them. It doesn't matter how you consume it, it still makes you a cannibal. James stated of the film that Saccharin is a love letter to anyone who has grown up wishing their body was different, to anyone who has felt imprisoned by self-destructive impulses, to my family and the hidden pain we carried, and to myself. Shame can often drive self-destruction, but bringing compassion, acceptance, and light to your darkness is the only way its power dissolves. As Hannah learns in the most brutal way, healing and recovery are not places we arrive at, but an ongoing path. I've always felt that body horror movies like this, played as cautionary tales, maybe are the most effective. I think the best, most recent examples are movies like The Substance, or maybe even Grafted from last year. From the way that Natalie is talking about her film though, it seems like this could have some sort of happy ending. Maybe Hannah decides to stop taking this pill and being a cannibal in order to lose weight so that she can move forward in a healthier way. Even though body horror is a big focus of this film, it seems that Hannah is haunted by some sort of specter that may just be a projection of Hannah's darkest insecurities. I'm really loving how creative this movie sounds. I can't wait to check it out on May 22nd in theaters. We heard earlier this year that producer Sam Raimi was still interested in making Crawl 2. It's something that kind of fell through the cracks as Paramount had a little bit of a switch up at the top. Raimi recently said of the sequel, "We've been trying to get a go from the studio, and now the new group that's come in, they're interested in Crawl 2. That's all I could really say right now, is now I've got a new hope to make it." There's even more reason to make a sequel now, as the original Alexander Aja film has hit the top 10 streaming charts for Paramount's entire streaming service. People want more good creature features, and Crawl is absolutely one of those. Although Sam Raimi has said that it's embarrassing to make an alligator in the basement film, I absolutely love this little flick, and I feel like it's an underrated hidden gem. The sequel sounds like it would be even crazier and much more grandiose, as originally it was said to be set in New York City during a flood where alligators living in the sewers were gonna come up and start eating people. I really hope that story is still intact for the sequel because it sounds outrageous. Sam Raimi, I know you got a lot on your plate right now with 2 new Evil Dead movies on the way and a ton of other Ghost House Pictures projects, but please make this happen. I don't typically talk about superhero projects on this page, but I do take an interest in CLAYFACE, a movie that was written by Mike Flanagan, a huge horror veteran, directed by James Watkins, who also did the American version of Speak No Evil as well as Eden Lake, and is a body horror take of a lesser-known Batman villain. The film follows Matt Hagen, played by Tom Rhys-Harries, as a B-movie actor who drinks a substance meant to boost his career, only to be left made entirely of clay. CLAYFACE tells the terrifying descent into hell of a promising Hollywood actor who has become a monster driven by revenge. An intense story that explores the loss of identity and humanity, the ravages of toxic love, and the dark side of scientific ambition. From the trailer, we can see a major David Cronenberg's The Fly inspiration, which I am absolutely loving. That's one of my all-time favorite horror movies, and that's why it's in the intro of all of these videos. Coming from one of the most prominent horror figures in the last 20 years, Mike Flanagan, and James Watkins, who deserves his flowers, man. He's made some really cool movies. I think this is going to be a major hit when it drops right before Halloween on October 23rd. Mad respect to DC for making this weird little project work. We've been getting a whole lot of little updates coming from Dread Central regarding Hard Eyes 2. The fact that Mason Gooding is back, as well as Olivia Holt, but now we officially have a release date for the film coming from Paramount Pictures. Hard Eyes 2 will come out on Valentine's Day weekend of 2028, specifically February 11th. Josh Rubin will return to write and direct, joined by new writer Darcy Fowler, and once again forming a story by Christopher Landon and Michael Kennedy. Now, while we know that we'll be following the same protagonists from the previous film, the question is still up in the air of will we have new killers this time around, or will it be the same folks somehow, some way? Who will be HEK this time around? That's a very big question for me, as my biggest criticism of the original Hard Eyes was that the murder mystery was really undercooked. What I did love about the original Hard Eyes, though, was its commitment to its tonal style. This is a rom-com that also features a slasher. The kills are also great too. They absolutely deliver. That opening scene is one of the best of a murder mystery slasher in a long time. Hard Eyes has also become a minor horror icon. He's even featured in the Scary Movie 6 trailer. That's impressive. I'm really excited for this sequel because I genuinely think there is room for improvement over the original film. Last but certainly not least is a big update on Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3. Many folks are excited to see some of their favorite YouTubers join the cast of this one. For instance, Chris from 3C Films was recently announced to be a part of the cast. Now, like I've said in previous videos, I was asked to be in the film, and I really do appreciate that. I just don't think I can make it as of right now, because I'm saving up for my wedding. Major congratulations to Chris and all of the other cast members that have yet to be announced. I also just think it's super fucking dope of Jagged Edge Productions to get so many content creators and influencers in this film. Nothing but love to this company and these crazy ass little movies. Major shout out to Brandon's Movies and Horror over on Twitter for pointing these things out to me. Answering some questions over on Instagram, the Pooh Blood and Honey official account said that Bloody Disgusting is going to drop the first image of Rabbit sometime soon, as well as the poohniverse Monsters Assembles film having a planned release date for sometime in 2027. This is really exciting stuff all around, but there is one thing regarding Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3 that does make me a little sad. It's been officially announced that we will not see the characters of Owl and Piglet in the film. That's likely to make room for Rabbit and the Heffalumps, something that's been announced before. I still can't believe we're talking about the fucking Heffalumps regarding a horror movie, by the way. I can't get over that. But it's likely to make room for some of these other horror characters that are going to be joining us this time around. I'm excited to see these new characters. I feel like the only reason you should make a sequel is to throw in some sort of new ideas, some new characters, whatever. So I think this is a really good route for part 3, but I will say, I think I'm gonna miss Owl. I think he was one of the most underrated killers from this entire series thus far. I hope we get to see him again in Poohniverse Monsters Assemble. So make no mistake, I am very excited for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3. I can't wait to see these little critters rip more people apart. Lots of exciting updates today. What did you guys think about all this stuff though? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.